Jay Silverheels, born Harold J. Smith on May 26, 1912, on the Six Nations of the Grand River Reserve in Ontario, Canada, lived a life that blended cultural pride, athletic excellence, and artistic achievement. A proud member of the Mohawk Nation, he descended from a long line of athletes and warriors, carrying his heritage with dignity throughout his journey. Before Hollywood ever knew his name, Jay was celebrated as a gifted lacrosse player whose speed and grace earned him the nickname Silverheels, a title that would later become world famous. His athleticism and commanding presence caught the eye of film scouts in the 1930s, propelling him into acting during an era when Native American performers were confined to stereotypical roles. Refusing to be boxed in, Jay brought authenticity, strength, and emotion to every character he played. His breakthrough came with Captain from Castile, 1947. But his defining role arrived 2 years later when he was cast as Tonto in the Lone Ranger series, 1949-1957. As the loyal companion to the masked hero, Silverheels infused Tonto with wisdom, loyalty, and humanity, qualities that transformed what could have been a sidekick into a symbol of dignity and equality. His performance made him one of the first Native American actors to achieve national fame, inspiring pride in indigenous communities across North America. Yet, beneath the fame, Jay carried a deep frustration with Hollywood's typecasting and lack of authentic Native representation. Refusing to accept this injustice, he became a vocal advocate for change, co-founding the Indian Actors Workshop in the 1960s to train and empower Native artists to tell their own stories. His pioneering spirit opened doors for future generations, including actors like Wes Studi and Graham Greene, who would later cite him as a trailblazer. Outside the spotlight, Jay remained grounded and connected to his roots. Despite fame, he often returned to the Six Nations Reserve, finding solace in his heritage and family life. His first marriage to Bobby Smith ended in 1943, during a turbulent time when he was still finding his place in Hollywood. 2 years later, he married Mary Doma, the woman who would become his lifelong companion and greatest source of strength. Together, they built a loving family and faced the trials of fame, prejudice, and the demanding nature of show business with quiet resilience. Mary supported Jay as he balanced the dual worlds of Hollywood, glamour and cultural authenticity, a man determined to honor his heritage while thriving in an industry that often refused to see his worth. But in his later years, Jay's life took a painful turn. After a series of strokes in the late 1970s left him partially paralyzed and struggling to speak, the once vibrant actor found himself battling not only physical decline, but deep emotional turmoil. In private, he confessed to his wife, "A warrior doesn't show weakness." That pride, rooted in his Mohawk identity, concealed a painful truth, one that Mary revealed only after his death. Jay's greatest secret was his lifelong fear of being misunderstood and forgotten. Despite his fame as Tonto, he often felt invisible behind the mask of the character that made him famous. "They love Tonto," he once told Mary, "but they don't see Jay Silverheels." His success had come at a cost. While he inspired millions, he also wrestled with guilt over playing a role that sometimes reinforced the very stereotypes he fought to dismantle. As illness consumed him, Jay became increasingly reflective, often staring silently out the window, burdened by the question of whether the world had truly seen the man behind the legend. In his private writings, he expressed both pride and sorrow. Pride in representing his culture, but sorrow that Hollywood rarely allowed Native characters to be portrayed as fully human. When Jay passed away on March 5, 1980, at the age of 67, the world mourned the loss of Tonto, the steadfast companion of the Lone Ranger. But Mary revealed the deeper truth of his story, the pain, the pride, and the unspoken struggles that defined his final years. She explained that he hid his suffering to protect his fans and his people, not wanting pity, but respect. In revealing his secret, Mary gave the world a fuller picture of who Jay Silverheels truly was, a man of immense strength, courage, and quiet grace. His legacy extends far beyond the screen. He was not just the loyal sidekick or the noble native hero, but a pioneer who challenged stereotypes, fought for representation, and carried the weight of two worlds with unyielding dignity. "I just wanted to be seen as a man," he told his wife before he died, words that capture both his struggle and his triumph. Jay Silverheels may have died in pain, but he left behind a legacy of endurance, authenticity, and honor, a man who proved that true greatness lies not just in fame, but in the courage to live and die with truth and dignity.